Okay. With that being said, with a new president, we get a new vice president. The first female president, Kamala Harris, and for a lot of black women, the first black woman female president and
Vice president, but
vice president. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But the one thing I have been seeing that before she even got, before when she was running for president, not even for vice president, when she was running for president, people was, trying to find out what her nationality is. If she really is black. Yes, she went to a HBCU, but if she really is black, where her parents from, if she's really black or Indian. They say she's Jamaican, but they from India. But now you kind of seeing people just accepting her as a black woman. Um, so what I want to ask you fellas, like Kamala being president, is this symbolism or significance?
I think it's both. To answer your question, I think it's both. It is significant that she's going to be the first female vice president. But here's the thing, right? Because there's a lot, because here's where that intersectionality shit comes in. And this is why I always say intersectionality does not benefit black people as a collective. Kamala Harris is now vice president elect of the United States. But what do you see? She's the first woman of color, not black. She's the first Asian, not black. And then they add in, oh, she's the first black woman. But here's the thing. There's a one drop rule in America. We know that if you are biracial, you are considered black before anything else, right? This was the agenda. So I find it very funny that they don't apply the one drop rule when it comes to this particular woman. When CNN was talking about it, they said woman of color. When CNN was talking about it, when she was doing her whole rounds and shit, remember she was raised by her mom primarily. Her father's Jamaican, but she was raised by her mother primarily. Her mother is Indian. So, of course, she's going to identify more with her Indian side. Now, yeah, she went to a HBCU and did all that shit, but that's the same shit that we clown the new blacks for. The people that found their blackness at at fucking college and be writing stupid shit like black men are the white people of the black community. Those are those type of motherfuckers. So they go to these little colleges, or they go to these little colleges and shit. And not only that, Kamala Harris was also an AKA. And the AKA was notorious for being hella motherfucking colorist. So of course she's gonna benefit from that because she is not a dark-skinned woman. So not only do you have the colorism aspect to it, now you have people that are literally playing dumb and trying to play identity politics because they don't know what the fuck they be talking about in the first place. So yes, I do think that it is significant that she is the first female vice president. But because of how intersectionality works, the very bottom thing in that list is her being a quote unquote black woman, which isn't even really true in the first place because she's a biracial woman. Yes, she's part of the black community because she's black. She's one of her parents is black. But because she hasn't been raised, and I say raised with emphasis because her mother is Indian and she primarily stayed with her Indian mother. Because she wasn't raised like one of us, we don't even really see her as one of us. The only people that are really calling her black are black Democrats, black liberals, and black people who just need something to cling on for a win at this point because they just got through 4 years of Trump and they don't even know that wasn't even the worst thing that happened to you. So when it comes to all that shit, I also think it's pandering at its highest. I also think it's, just a
um,
way for people to shut the fuck up.
someone's call in and join the group. What the fuck?
What?
No, I was just
Tony, is
wondering.
that you? Hello, Tony,
Yeah,
is that you?
yeah, it's me.
All right, what's up? Go ahead, continue, Father.
I'm gonna clown you for that, Dion, because you got scared like a motherfucker. I heard your voice. You said, "Oh, who that?"
I wasn't scared. I was just confused.
It's the boogeyman. It's the boogeyman.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it just seems like pandering to me. Like for real, it just really, really seems like pandering to me because again, like, yeah, we can acknowledge that she's a biracial woman that became vice president of the United States. That's it. You know what I'm saying? She's Jamaican and she's Indian. That's it. It doesn't have to be this sister girl. Oh my God, this is such a big win for the black community. No, the fuck it's not. Because if you look at her history, she was very, influential in getting a lot of black people locked up in the first place. So,
Big
hey,
facts.
but what do I know? I'm just a black man. Weak link.
Dion, it's on you.
I mean, there's nothing else to say about that shit. Fodder done hit everything.
All right. Tony, we was just talking about Kamala Harris being vice president. Is it symbolism or is it significance? What do you think?
Man, I don't know. Because I think like if I chose any one of them, it's I guess you got to find out like how she is vice president to answer that, because a lot of people change when in a different position of office.
That's actually pretty reasonable. I can't even knock that. Um, but I guess I'll go. I guess the one thing I wanted to realize, because I want to look back at Obama years, is like, is it similar? Like, because you got to ask the same thing for the Obama years. Yes, I do believe he did uh, do a good job as being president without really having that really big scandals and all that other stuff. But I would be lying when I said like most of that is symbolism, because I know there was majority of people that did voted for him because he was black. Like he did have the most black voters out there voting for him just because he was black. Now, although he did a good job and all that stuff, you cannot knock that there is some type of significance there where like even your grandparents could say, I lived long enough to see a black president to be in the United States. So with that being said, I feel like the same motions are going on Kamala Harris, which is I don't think symbolism is a problem, but what's the symbolism if you don't get shit done? And that's where I feel like she really will be judged at, if she's going to get shit done. And the one thing, there's two things I wonder if she's going to get the same type of flock that Obama got, because they ran Obama, like especially like Fox News and shit, like anything Obama did, Obama could have like sneezed and like Fox News had a week long story about him sneezing and shit. Like I think he wore a tan suit, and a lot of people just got on him. There are people, especially like black Republican men, which makes me sick to my stomach. Like they still calling Michelle Obama a man, even though there's like pictures of her as a little girl. But since it's like those people are really fucking stupid. And like I don't look, I'm not gonna say she's like I don't think she's ugly, but I'm not saying she's like the baddest thing smoking, but obviously she's not a fucking man. But back to Kamala. One thing, if she's going to be, I would like to see her do some shit that, hell, I would honestly say that Barack couldn't even get done. But I know like the obstacles Barack had to go through, like this, I believe the Senate was Republican and some shit. Like he had the House and the Senate as Republicans. So anytime he like had laws, like they would try to veto it. So I know he had that going for him. But for with Kamala, I don't know if we got both the House and Senate. I know we got one of them. I think we got the Senate, right?
Huh? Say it again?
Do the Democrats, do they have the House and the Senate?
They had the House, I believe. I don't think they have the Senate.
Yeah, at least we have the House. We got something that could help pass laws for Black America if they do something for Black America. So I think she's set up with more of leeway of getting the shit done than Obama really did, in my opinion. So, and I think a lot of young girls can really look at this and say, "Oh wow, first female vice president." And I think a lot of people voted for Kamala, voted for Joe Biden just because of Kamala, which is really weird, because if that was the case, y'all should have had Kamala running against Trump instead of Biden. But I guess a lot of people thought Biden. You would think. No, I'm just saying. I know you like disagree, but you would think so. Like there were people's like, I'm not really voting for Joe. I'm more or less vote for Kamala. So, and I think that's why Joe Biden put her on the as vice president too. Because I remember Charlemagne was talking about if for Joe Biden to win, he needs to have a black woman as a vice president. It's just like, and I don't even think like Charlemagne was looking at it from she could be the right woman to do the job, but more or less the symbolism is try to get all the black votes. So there's a lot of things looking at it. So I think yes, part of it, like Father said, it is both, but I'm leaning more towards symbolism. But I do want to see her get shit done in the office. So, any last words on this before we move on to our next topic?
So, Ray, you said something that I actually disagree with. You said that you brought up the point where Charlemagne said that if Biden wants to win, she needs a black woman president. He picked Kamala, and that Kamala would be getting a lot of votes because people would subconsciously want Kamala, because Joe Biden picked her as vice president. And I disagree with that because when they were picking the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris was one of the very first people to drop out. And what did she say before she dropped out? So if you think I'm going to do anything that's going to benefit black people, no. Right. And that was one of the biggest things that actually killed her political career when it came to running for president in 2018, 2019. So I have to
actually
go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, my bad for interrupting. I was gonna wait till you finish, but she had some in her campaign. Somebody was complaining about sexual harassment in her campaign that was in her cabinet, and when the news broke out, that's why the reason why she left, and that's why she dropped off the race because of that, because she started losing momentum because of that too. Also, could be both, but it was one of them things too.
I actually forgot about that.
You remember that shit? Yeah, man. And it got
real. Yeah, now I
never knew about that. I actually never knew about that. I just thought she dropped out.
Holy shit. Nah. Actually, Tony brought up a good point. I actually forgot about that. I remember reading about that like when it first came out. This was like last year too. So it was a while ago, but I actually forgot about that. And another thing is, so what's funny about it is she also accused Biden of sexual harassment too.
Oof.
Yeah.
So I found that very interesting. And then the busing shit she was talking about in one of those debates, and then she said one of those kids was being shit. Bro, I'm telling you, come on, Kamala, she's sus. I'm telling you.
She's sus.
She's sus.
I don't have a problem. Okay, I don't have a problem with anything you disagreed on my point, but I will say this: it was, even though she did say what she did say about the just helping the black community. There's a lot of black Democrats that was like riding for her that swept that under the rug and all that other stuff, and was still trying to push her around. And this is why I really think like that's how she got on. And all that other stuff. Even like with all the sexual harassment, I'm thinking like that even Joe Biden was like, if they put her on it, maybe like that shit would just go away. And it kind of worked because, like people kind of like got back on, I don't want to say good graces, but people was like fucking with her again, except for the black men, because obviously